And writing for Civitas Institute at the University of Texas, Andrea Piciotti-Bayer says, in part, quote, a surprising number of President Trump's executive orders undo the weaponization of the federal government to push gender ideology, a progressive assault on the nature of what it means to be human that is at odds with biological reality and traditional religious belief. The executive orders come amid a backdrop of a handful of cases important to the faithful that the Supreme Court will consider this term. They are set to decide whether Catholic Charities work serving the poor and disabled is, quote, sufficiently religious. Wisconsin law allows religious groups to be exempt from the state unemployment taxes as long as their activities are religious in nature. And of course, one person who knows so much about that is Andrea Piciotti-Bayer with the Conscious Project, and we're going to be talking to her momentarily.
Yes, we are. So as we have seen from some of the clips of J.D. Vance, as we're hearing from Chris Smith, conscience protections are really top of mind for a lot of Catholics today. They need to be. And we have a lot of cases in front of the Supreme Court, so I'm looking forward to talking with Andrea.
Absolutely, and I think we have her in just a moment. Just got finished miking up, so great to see you. This is live TV, these things happen.
You were incredibly patient, thank you. Yeah, no, this is great. Thank you so much for having me come on. I've missed you guys.
I know, we love having you on. We want to talk about this. Your thoughts on the prayer breakfast so far, though?
You know what, amazing. Right? Anybody that heard Chris Smith speak, I mean, there's someone that's on fire for his faith, loves his country, speaks in defense of life, in defense of the persecuted Christians, and I really appreciated the time that he took to specifically shout out, you know, the persecuted Christians who continue to stand for faith with incredible grace and courage across the globe. Yeah. He's just, you know, a champion both at home and abroad for all people of faith, and I think that it's a great model and example for all of us.
Well, you're following very closely, I know, all of the Trump administration's flurry of executive orders, including immigration, including the things that focus on the dignity of the human person. What are some of the most pressing and interesting for you?
You know, I think first off, many of those executive orders I'm just so excited about, right? I think that there's an incredible walking back of the damage that was done by the prior administration pushing gender ideology, which is just contrary to the faith and contrary to biological reality. Yeah. Those are huge, almost miraculous steps that were taken. I think all of us are thanking God for that, and we should continue to do so, especially for young people. You know, I think you're right, Matthew, in pointing out the issues of immigration. Comprehensive immigration reform is needed. Nuance needs to be a part of that, and I think that our Catholic leaders have spoken, not only Pope Francis, but my own bishop, Bishop Michael Burbidge of Arlington, where so many of our lawmakers, Catholic lawmakers, live, really talking about the importance of understanding that the common good and human dignity are not at odds together, and that our policy really needs to work hand in hand on those.
What are you following in the Supreme Court? What cases should we as Catholics be looking out for?
You know, I was thinking about it, Tracy. There are 3 really important cases this term. There are many other cases, but 3 in which Catholics take the center stage. You mentioned earlier the role of a Catholic virtual charter school in Oklahoma, the Catholic Charities in Wisconsin, and also a group of parents in Montgomery County, Maryland, just, you know, a stone's throw from where we're sitting right now, including Catholics that are asking and demanding for their right to opt their children out of exposure of sexually explicit materials in the classroom. And these are kids that are pre-K to 8th grade, you know, our most tender learners. And in all 3 cases, religious freedom, parental rights, and the true understanding of what the Constitution means, especially the First Amendment, are before the court.
Yeah, staying with the highest court. They recently refused to hear a case regarding a buffer zone around an abortion clinic.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? And do you see this as a possible trend, or where are we?
You know, that case, Matthew, is really a little bit interesting and complicated. In part, you know, as a lawyer, we use these words, the procedural posture. What was going on with the law that was at issue? But I think that people are starting to realize that the buffer zones and even different laws like the FACE Act, the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, all of those were grounded in the assumption that the Constitution created violated a right to abortion. We know that that's not true, and that this Supreme Court has been clear on that. I think that whether the court interferes and intervenes to strike down these buffer zone cases in the future, laws in the future, is one thing, but I really do think that our lawmakers need to start looking clearly at laws that assumed something that just isn't in the Constitution and put abortion back down for the states to regulate appropriately and limit for the safety of women and unborn children.
Andrea, so great to be with you today. Thank you for taking time out of your breakfast to be with us and speak with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love you guys.
Love to be with you. Thank you so much. God bless.